for We Deal in Lead. And then we'll run through some character creation and then do the scenario adventure, like the playtest adventure. Yeah, so We Deal in Lead, it's a Western fantasy TTRPG based on or inspired by The Dark Tower, the Stephen King novel series about a gunslinger. So it's set in a post-apocalyptic world that's similar to ours, but different in a lot of ways. So it's a mix of sci-fi, fantasy, Wild West, horror, and like realm hopping. The system's based on Cairn, which is a lightweight D20 roll under system that's in turn based on Into the Odd and Knave. There are a couple of changes to Cairn for We Deal in Lead if you're familiar with that, but I'll go through that as we create characters and stuff. So I thought I'd read out the principles first. So the principles for the Drifted World just kind of set the stage for the setting in the world. So the world has moved on. Forces once thought immutable shift, and the borders of time and space grow thin. Opposing realms bleed into ours, creating pathways in reality. The old ways bubble to the surface, bringing with them chaos and madness. The Gunslingers. Once a symbol of order and feudal authority, now only a few remain. The guns they carry remain a powerful sigil and mark them as gunslingers. Secrets. Secrets are worth seeking out, but are well guarded and dangerous. Some mysteries will never be solved. Technology. Remnants of the world that was lay abandoned everywhere, most broken and corrupted. Vast machinery stirs underground, driving the gears of reality. Magical knowledge. The knowledge of most magic is lost, and the use of magic draws unwanted attention. Magic is wild and unpredictable, with behavior changing from one world to another. The slip doors. These are gateways between worlds, some forever lost and others in plain sight. They pierce time and space, but only open for the right hand. And death. Death is the clearing at the end of the path. Spirits gather in places of the dead. Only a corpse may speak true prophecy, and death is but a door, and may lead to other worlds than these. Does that make sense? Does that kind of set the scene, as it were?
Yeah.
Cool. So I thought we'd go through Gunslinger creation. So at the back of the PDF, there's a series of tables, of random tables, to roll up names and backgrounds and character traits, that sort of thing. If you guys, if you all want to roll through those tables, and then let me know the results that you get, and then we'll kind of that's how we'll build characters. If that's all right.
Yeah, my character is Mira Flint.
Mira Flint. Cool.
Let me write that down.
So these names I got from a list of 19th century names, popular names from the 19th century.
My character is Genevia Hampstead.
Oh, cool.
And I've got Bernard Hunter.
Excellent. And what kind of pronouns for each of your characters? Mira, I'll start, or Wendi, I'll start with Mira for you.
Mira is she, her.
She, her. Okay. And Genevia, or is that?
Yeah, she, her.
She, her. Cool. And Bernard or Bernard?
He, him.
He, him. So the next one is background. So this is a D10, and this determines what your character was before they became a gunslinger. It kind of influences some skills and some lore and some story notes.
My character was a stranger.
Cool.
Me too.
Oh, nice. 2 strangers.
I got highborn.
Oh, interesting.
We have Roland and...
Yeah, I put the highborn in there specifically for to to replicate Roland from the Gunslinger, if you're familiar with that. Right, so next are a series of physical traits, or tables for physical traits. So the first is skin. Just thinking it might be worth, if you guys want, if y'all want to kind of just roll through the tables, and then it's maybe up to virtue and vice, and then let me know what you get, and kind of get a picture of your characters. If you don't like any, or if the options, or the one that you roll on doesn't seem to fit what character you had in mind, then just re-roll or pick a different one. So some of these were built from the Cairn tables, and some of these are replacements from what was on Cairn. Soon I'll have I've got a website now that randomly generates a Rune Cairn character from the random tables. So I'll do something like that for We Deal in Lead as well, which will simplify things.
I love that. It's so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
What's the roll for age in this one? It's a bit further up than from the tables, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4d12 plus 10. Yeah, I thought 4d12 plus 10 would give a good distribution, possibly of the ages.
My character's starting to look a bit Disney Prince, which I'm sure is going to completely fit the tone.
That's awesome. Cool. So what does Mira, or what's Mira like?
So, Mira looks rugged. She wears practical clothing and she has shaved hair for practical reasons as well.
Mm-hmm.
She has pockmarked skin and a damaged face that I imagine is not only because of scars, but also maybe she had some kind of disease or something that left her skin all over her body, kind of pockmarked and weirdly scarred.
Okay.
But also, I think she has a scar on her face as well from some fight. She has wary eyes,
Mm-hmm.
even if she's too young for that, and she speaks in a whispery way. Her virtue is that she's disciplined,
Mm-hmm.
but her vice is that she's cold. Her reputation is that she's wise, and her misfortune is that she was abandoned.
Interesting. So what form did that abandonment take?
So, can the player characters have come from the sleep doors?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can come from this world or from any other world, really.
Yeah, I think she came from another world, like 80s world.
Cool.
And she was very young back then, and she used to be a part of a group of other gunslingers
Mm-hmm.
that were left by one of them to die so he could keep on going on his obsessive crusade.
Cool.
Or something like that, and the others died, but she survived.
That's awesome. Cool. That fits really well with the whole sacrifice mechanic.
Great.
Cool.
I got that because of you setting the tone and reminded me a lot of reading the Dark Tower,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to get those feelings.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Did you roll for age for Mira? You said she was a bit younger?
Yeah, she's 28. I think that fits.
Cool.
She may have arrived here at 15, so she has lived almost half her life here already.
Mm-hmm. How about Genevia?
All right. Well, Genevia is she's got like a. I think she's from like a mining town.
Okay.
She's got a rugged physique, oily hair, bony face. I mean, I think she's just kind of like a bit like weathered. She's 34 years old. She wears practical clothes, just stuff that'll prevent skin from, scuffing. And her virtue is that she is gregarious. And her vice is that she's condescending.
Interesting.
And I think and her reputation is focus, and she's exiled. So something went down. She doesn't like to talk about it, I think,
Cool.
but she can't go back.
And how about Bernard or Bernard?
He's highborn. He's sort of built imposing, with a flowing sort of mane of hair. Skin is delicate, with shining eyes. So that's it's very getting Disney sort of Prince Charming style.
Yeah, absolutely.
With his formal speech and flowing clothes and everything. He's courageous yet mocking, and his reputation is boisterous. And I figured he's sort of the third son of a noble family that they already had the sort of heir and the spare. So he was sort of left to go do what he wanted, and he's found his way into sort of adventuring in the sort of drifted world.
Cool.
And he's probably gone quite far away from his sort of kingdom or whatever. So maybe his kingdom's probably fallen into ruin now because he's 43, so he's getting on a bit. He realised he was never going to get the throne or whatever, so yeah. He's left that all behind, but he's still obviously got that noble breeding and upbringing that maybe comes out, and that's why he's probably where the mockingness comes out.
Sounds a lot like Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, a little bit.
Would you say he's from the drifted world, or from a different world and found his way into the drifted world? I
suppose. Is there a time scale for the drifted world? Would it be? I mean, in the Dark Tower, it's quite vague, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's really any time. Like it's kind of outside standard time.
Yeah, so I think he's from the drifted world, and that is sort of again part of the world moving on. His kingdom sort of, even if it's not total into ruin, but into sort of disrepair, and it's on the downward sort of side of the slope now.
Yeah. And sorry, John, I forgot to ask about Genevia as well. Is she from the drifted world as well, or from another world?
I think she's from the drifted world.
Cool. A really interesting group of gunslingers. Okay, so the next series of tables are for starting gear. So starting with the guns, and then embellishments on the guns, and so on. So if you all want to roll through those tables as well, and see what kind of guns your gunslingers have. If there's one that kind of calls to you, then just go ahead and pick that one for the guns, and for the embellishments and everything as well. I'll get an image of the hats ready, and I'll share that out so you can see what kind of hats you're choosing. All right, so here are the hats.
Oh, it's a hard choice.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Genevia is the Galliner for sure.
Nice. Yeah, they're all pretty much like they're all mechanically identical. It's just a flavor, and hats don't take up any inventory space, so you just wear it on your head.
Is there a difference mechanically about the guns?
There are, yeah. So they all have different capacities, like have different so the 6 shooters have a capacity of 6 rounds before they need to be reloaded, and they've got a short range. The repeater has a capacity of 8, and it's a medium range, but it's bulky, so it takes up 2 slots in your inventory, and you need 2 hands to hold it. the scattergun has a capacity of 2, and it's short range. And again, that's bulky, but it has the blast quality, so it can hit multiple enemies at once. And then there's the rifle, which has a capacity of 4, and it does slightly more damage as a D10. All the others are D8. And the rifle is long range and bulky as well.
Okay, so I got a rifle on
Mhm.
the die, but could I get twin 6-shooters instead?
Yeah, of course.
Alright.
So the twin 6-shooters are bulky, so they take up 2 slots. But you can also fire both at once. So you can either hit one target twice, so you'd essentially get advantage on the damage attack, on the damage roll, or you could attack 2 separate targets.
To be honest, I just thought they'd be cooler
Yeah,
to have.
yeah. So something new that I've introduced as well in the most recent update is each gun has a special attack. So if you're familiar with Cairn and the fatigue mechanic, so fatigue you get when you cast a spell, and your inventory gets filled up with fatigue. So the special attacks in the guns, when you use it, it causes fatigue. So you can use it, but you can only use it so many times before your inventory gets filled entirely, and you're defenseless. Your grit is reduced to 0. Grit is the HP equivalent. So I'll let you all choose your guns, and then I'll let you know what the special attacks are.
So I've got a 6-shooter,
Cool.
and that's the fan the hammer, huh?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah. So it's good. It's like you can attack a lot of targets, but you basically blow through all your ammo in one go, and it causes fatigue. So
It's like reload is like an action, right? Or
yeah,
effectively, okay.
yeah. And the way ammo works is abstracted. So 1 lead, that's your ammo and your currency. 1 lead will reload your weapon. So whether it's a 6-shot 6-shooter or a 2-shot shotgun or a scattergun, it'll reload it, just to keep things simple, not too complicated. Has everyone picked their hat?
Yeah. My hat's gonna be a Harrier.
Cool.
Harrier also.
Nice. It's the classic like bandit hat or a black hat. So Mira's got the twin 6-shooters, and Genevia has the 6-shooter, the 1 6-shooter. How about Bernard?
He's got a scattergun,
Oh, cool.
like a shotgun, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So that's it's got a capacity of 2 shots, but it's got the blast quality, so you can hit multiple targets.
And then give both barrels sort of its special attack.
Yeah.
Unload both of them and get advantage on that blast attack.
Exactly, yeah. And the special attack for the single so for the twin 6-shooters, the special attack is called 2 and 2. It's basically fire 2 shots from each gun, and you get damage advantage against 2 different targets.
Nice.
It's kind of the best of both worlds. Right. What kind of embellishments are on your weapons?
My 6-shooters are rosewood, and they have rose embellishments.
Awesome. That's really
And
cool.
I rolled that randomly, and I was satisfied with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Genevia's from is a silver mine, so she's got silver handle and a bear decoration on it.
Awesome.
So Bernard's scattergun is rosewood also, and it's got a dragon embellishment, which I think is quite thematic for a scattergun, sort of dragon's breath sort of thing.
Absolutely, and it fits with the highborn
Yeah.
highborn background. Cool. Have you guys rolled on the armor table as well?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I got a reinforced leather jacket.
Nice. So that gives 2 defense. So the leather jacket is 2 defense. Everything else is 1 defense, except for no armor, which is 0.
I got thick furs.
Cool.
Reinforced leather jacket.
Nice. So yeah, that's 2 defense.
Do we gotta roll for secondary weapons as well?
Yeah. So a d20 for secondary weapon.
Got a cudgel, but I think I'm gonna take a dagger because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my character is like blunt weapon
Yeah.
kind of person.
Yeah. So the dagger is d6. And you can also throw it in short range.
A saber.
Saber is d8.
And I had a bullwhip.
Oh, nice. That is d6. Sorry, d4 is bullwhip. But you've got reach on that. The reach will be short range. So the ranges, the distances are close, short, medium, and far, or short, medium, and long. So close is kind of melee, within melee range. Short is like the other side of the room, essentially. Medium is across the street, and long range is kind of a bit further than that. So the only thing that can hit long range is the rifle.
I do like it when things are abstracted like that rather than having to get the ruler out.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, if you want to roll on the expeditionary gear, so it's 1 item from expeditionary gear, tools, and trinkets, and then an extra bonus item. That could be anything on those tables.
So we do roll the bonus.
Yeah, you can. You can. You don't have to. If you want to keep an extra slot free, then you don't have to roll on the bonus table.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but if you want to, you can.
I just rolled the same thing I already had. So I'm just gonna say I don't have 2 of them.
If there's something that stands out to you on any of the tables, then feel free to swap it for that.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do then.
I rolled for soap, and I think that's offensive to me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave the slot empty.
Okay.
Because my guns are bulky also, right? They take 2 slots.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm gonna compensate for it with not having soap.
Yeah. So the on the character sheet, the 2 dots that are next to the item areas or the items, that's how many slots it takes up. So if something's bulky, it'll take up 2 of those. And there's some items that are small as well. Yeah, smaller items can be bundled. So you can have a bunch of small items in 1 slot. The trinkets are mostly flavor, but like the if there's something and if any of the items, if there's something that you want to attempt with it, then by all means. I'm not going to say that you can't use X for Y and that sort of stuff. It's how if you want to try an innovative approach, then go for it. And then let me know when everyone's done rolling their items.
Does defense stack? So I have leather cuffs.
Yeah.
So that just adds 1.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you've got the reinforced leather jacket, then you'll have a total of 3 defense, which is the highest you can get with defense.
Very practical clothes.
Yeah. Yeah, the leather cuffs are an actual like item that cowboys used to wear to protect their hands from like ropes and lassos and stuff like that. So I thought it made sense.
Cool.
So once you've got all your items, we can roll ability scores. So that's 3d6 down the line. So there's 3 abilities. There's strength, dexterity, and heart. Strength and heart are the kind of most important ones. Strength governs your actual physical ability, like physical strength and constitution, but also if you need to make a critical damage save, then the higher your strength, the more likely it is you'll make that save. And heart determines a couple of gunslinger abilities. So if you get in a duel, you roll with your heart.
Not with your hand.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly right.
That's great.
Yeah, I originally had it as will, which is what's in Cairn, but I think heart makes a lot of sense, and it aligns with the Dark Tower. Yeah, so it's 3d6 for each, and then you can swap any two. So was that you rolling for your stats, John?
Yeah, so I have I rolled up 9 strength, 8 dex, and 14 heart.
Nice, cool. Jack and Wendi, have you rolled your abilities as well?
Yes, I've rolled
Yeah.
mine. I rolled 16 strength, 15 dex, and 7 heart.
Wow.
But then I swapped the dex and the heart around. I thought that was a bit more made sense for him to be quite strong-willed.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to stand behind you.
And Wendi?
Rolled a 10 strength, 14 dex, and 12 heart.
Cool. And you happy with those scores? Do you want to swap any of them?
I think those are so average that I'll let them stay where they are.
Cool. So the next to roll on is grit. So grit is the HP of We Deal in Lead. So in Cairn, HP was hit protection. So grit is your capacity to endure and survive in a world that's moved on. So it's your ability to avoid damage, essentially, or to keep going. So once you're so you start with 2d6 grit. If your grit gets reduced to below 0, then any additional damage you start taking to your strength, and you need to make a critical damage save. So grit you can lose pretty quickly, but you can also regain it quickly. If you after a fight, if you take a moment and breathe and have some water, your grit will go back to full. But if you take any strength damage, then that takes a lot longer to and if you have an attack that takes you to exactly 0 grit, then you roll on the scars table, which is something kind of can be extraordinary happens. So that's the way that the progression works in Cairn and in We Deal in Lead, because it happens so infrequently that you would be reduced to exactly 0. Then there's chances for character development. Like your stats can change. You can come out a different person or changed person. So the grit and strength interaction is the same with enemies. So when you're fighting an enemy, you have to reduce their grit first, and then you start reducing their strength. So after the grit is reduced to 0, additional damage reduces strength and then forces a critical damage save. So for you and for the monsters. Right. It's what's your grit situation?
I rolled an 8.
8
grit.
Cool.
Same.
4 for me.
Oh, 4. Ooh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah, you definitely need to stay at the back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Although my gun's short range, so we'll see. We'll figure out how to do it.
So the last piece of starting gear, or the last thing to roll, is lead. So lead is your currency and it's your ammo as well. So it's 3d6 lead to start.
I rolled 6 lead.
6 lead. Okay. And John?
9.
Oh, sorry, Wendi. 9.
9.
9. Cool. So your armor, I was going to mention this earlier. So the armor that you wear, your defense level, that affects melee attacks. So if someone attacks you with a melee weapon, your armor will take the hit first, and your armor reduces the amount of damage that you take. So if you've got 2 armor, then any attack will be reduced by 2, and you'll take the rest of it to your grit. Except in the case of guns. Guns bypass armor altogether. So that's for you and for enemies too. So if you're fighting an enemy gunslinger, then you gotta watch out. So guns, the damage will affect grit directly, and it won't armor one. When you're using a gun, you roll. So Karen's normally a no to hit. Like you just kind of roll for damage, and hits are automatic. So in Weed, Deal, and Lead, it's the same when it comes to melee weapons, but with guns, you need to roll on the shoot table. So that's a 2d6 table. 2 to 9 is a hit in a different, like, varying degrees of success. 10 and 11 is a miss, and 12 is a misfire on your weapon. And then there's a misfire table. So if you roll a 12, something bad happens, and then you roll a d6 to see how bad it is, the thing that happens. The ammo, so for tracking ammo, to keep it simple, I usually, so if you have a 6-shooter, then I'll take a d6 and start it at 6, and for every shot I take, reduce it by 1. Just, it's an easy way to keep track. Same with if you've got a repeater or a rifle. When it comes to the scattergun, because there's no D2, you can, I'm still finding out the best way to do this, maybe a token or a coin. You can flip one side.
Yeah, or you could have 2 coins and say like heads, it's sort of loaded, and then flip the coin, and when you to tails when you've sort of used that shot. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So there's a couple ways to keep track, and that's a good suggestion. The one thing to make note of that if you have multiple attackers that are attacking the same target, you roll all your damage together, and then take the highest roll of that damage. So it's kind of like advantage on damage when you're attacking multiple people attacking one target. And that works the same for enemies as well. If there's 2 enemies attacking you, they'll take the better roll. One thing to mention is because I've introduced the special attacks, there's fatigue. So everyone starts with 10 inventory slots by default. Lead takes up 1 slot as well. So the items that you've got on your character sheet, the ticks, or the circles, that should automatically calculate how many slots you have left. That's how many times you can use your special attack. If you get to 10 slots used, so 10 out of 10, your grit is reduced to 0. So you can still do stuff, but you're exposed, essentially. You're weighed down either by fatigue or by your items.
Yeah, so I guess that would mean that, so because we start with rations.
Yeah.
And a torch. So I think that would mean that I'd start at 10. I'd be all 10. Full up.
Okay.
Yeah. So probably I should get rid of something.
Probably not a good idea to start 10 out of 10.
Yeah. I think she's too practical to want the guitar. She's gonna. Anyone want a guitar? If not, that's cool.
No, I mean I'm starting at 9.
Mira would want one.
Sorry, Wendi, did you say that Mira would want a guitar?
Yeah.
You can have it.
She would have wanted one before she was abandoned, but now her heart is broken.
Oh.
And she's cold.
Well, you got the thick furs, so that'll keep you warm.
I just never learned to play it. Just been carrying it around.
Wait, so we gotta put rations in our inventory as well?
Yeah. So you'd have rations. It's 3 days worth of rations, and it takes up 1 slot.
Okay.
Is everyone all set?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll set the stage for the adventure. Oh, actually, sorry. One thing I forgot. The Gunslinger Order. So as you're all members of a fellowship of gunslingers, a Gunslinger Order, there's a one person in the order is the errant, or the lead gunslinger. So in the Dark Tower, this is Roland, who's kind of the head of the order, or head of the gunslingers. So it can be, usually it's a discussion amongst the group who it makes most sense to be the errant. It can be someone with the most experience. It can be the oldest, someone with the highest heart ability. It's kind of whatever makes most sense. Who amongst you do you think would be the errant, or would want to step forward as the errant?
I think Bernard would definitely. Yeah, like to me, he seems the one that wouldn't want to be the follower so much.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mira definitely wouldn't be the leader, so
Okay.
Prince Bernard.
Yeah. Brave Prince Bernard. Cool. So the next thing that comes with the order is the name. So the Order of X. So Bernard, if you want to roll a d20 on the order table, we'll see what the order name is.
15.
15.
The king.
Perfect. Order of the King. So the names are based on the Major Arcana tarot, with a drifted world slant. Cool. So Order of the King. Excellent. Okay, so I'll set the stage. So now we've got the Order, we've got the Errant, which is Bernard. The unthinkable has happened. Severn Stevens, a former ally and member of your Gunslinger Order, betrayed and killed Isaac, your former leader and steadfast friend. You've hunted this traitor for weeks, finally tracking him and his ragtag posse to a ramshackle village, Swampwater, on the edge of the bleached desert. So Isaac was previously the errant, and Severn was in your order as well, but Severn betrayed and killed Isaac, and then left the order in disgrace. Handed over his artifact guns, his 6-shooter, and left in disgrace. So you've been tracking him ever since, and you've tracked him to this village. So some background. Yeah, so you know that recently Severn's been searching for the man who killed his father 20 years ago. And something else to know is that this village is is kind of in the control of a crime lord named Lancaster. So the ramshackle village. Sorry. Before I start, does that make sense? The kind of setting the stage with Severn and what you're here for.
yeah.
Yeah.
Are we following him for revenge or to capture him so he goes to trial or something?
It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
There's no real justice system in the drifted world. It's frontier justice. It's essentially anarchy. So gunslingers have previously been a symbol of order and law, but not necessarily, not all the time. So it's entirely up to you guys, or to you all, if you want, if you looking to hunt him down or to bring him to justice, or to bring him to some kind of justice. Okay, so the ramshackle village, hastily constructed, now falling apart and mostly abandoned. The village lies half submerged in the fetid waters of a swamp. Gouts of fire spew as a grinding, rust-riven oil derrick burns endlessly at the center of town, filling the air with acrid smoke. So the churning oil derrick screams and grinds as ancient machinery struggles. What buildings remain are rotten and crumbling, though movement is visible in some. A crumbling saloon sits across the square from the derrick. And in the distance, there's a shack built on stilts visible at the center of the swamp, on the edge of the village. So, what would you all like to do?
I suppose, are there any locals sort of out and about, or are they all sort of hiding slightly?
Yeah, you don't see. There's no one milling around. It doesn't look like a normal village. It looks abandoned more than anything. You do see movement, some kind of movement, like faces peering out of buildings, but there's maybe 3 or 4 people that you can clock, and they're not they're not eager to come out and see you. They haven't. Sorry, go ahead.
Is there any place, any building that looks like it could be a saloon or an inn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the buildings you can see from where you are looks like a crumbling saloon. So there's the saloon doors. One of them's hanging off, or one of them's gone, and the other one's hanging off. But from that one, even from where you are, just outside the village, you can hear movement coming from in there.
I think that's our best bet. It's always the traditional sort of way to get information.
Yeah,
Uh,
the traditional intro scene
Yeah.
in westerns. The strangers coming into the saloon.
Well, we've been out in the desert, and I'm real
We're
thirsty.
parched.
So
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so you're heading into the saloon.
Yeah.
How do you want to? How do you all want to kind of navigate the village? Do you want to just be up front and kind of not hiding, or do you want to go in a bit quieter, or what's your general approach?
I'm up for just striding through, letting the townsfolk know that sort of gunslingers are here.
Yeah.
I think that
Gunslinger guns.
yeah, I think that I'm a little shyer about it. It's sort of like I wear that sort of like long leather mining jacket, so I kind of look like maybe like a I don't know, hired help, for the slingers.
Okay. So you're kind of hanging back and, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. But like
My
following
hands are on my holsters, but my guns are still holstered. But I'm letting anyone know that I can, in a second, get them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think we're guns drawn, but it's definitely we're here. Well, at least for Bernard or Bernard, he's definitely. Yeah, I'm here now.
All right, cool. So the saloon. It's coming inside. It's an abandoned saloon with patchwork walls and ceiling. There's sparse tables spread out over a dirt-covered floor. You can there's a rancid earthy smell of mold and stale beer. There's three rotting wooden tables with mismatched chairs. Choking on my words. And behind the bar, the source of the movement is a large rust-covered robot that's wiping down the surface of the bar. The bar is covered in grey fungus and sickly moss.
Is there someone behind the bar, or is it literally just the robot in here?
Yeah, just the robot.
Okay.
Doesn't look like there's been any customers for a while.
I'll say to the robot, I'll say, "You there, robot? Have you got anything to drink in here? We've been in the desert a while and we're parched."
Howdy, what can I get ya?
Is anything here still drinkable?
Is that what you ask the robot, or is that just you asking?
I'm asking Bernard, but I'm actually asking the robot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So you kind of ask the question, and the robot turns to you. Howdy, what can I get ya?
I mean, well, you'd hope there's something. If there's a robot here and
Whiskey.
whiskey works.
The robot turns to you. Howdy, what can I get ya?
Do you think it's broken?
Whiskey.
Howdy, what can I get ya?
I'm gonna look over the others. I'm gonna peer over the bar and see if there's anything there.
There's looks like it's been picked clean. The robot is just it's a crude humanoid shape, more rust than metal, and there's a clutch of fungus growing up its arm. It's moving erratically back and forth, wiping the top of the bar intermittently, and it's kind of sending fungal spores into the air as it does it. Yeah, you get the impression that that it's stuck in some kind of loop, and it's not really hearing what you're saying.
I'll say, I think last orders have been called quite a while ago here. Maybe we
We
check
should cover
somewhere
our
else.
mouths and nose just to be safe. So
Sorry, what was that?
I think we should all cover our mouths and noses just to be safe.
So you're this type of fungus you've come across before. It's usually pretty harmless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for short exposure, you wouldn't want to like breathe it in day out, but like limited exposure is fine. It's not gonna grow too much in your lungs.
Okay. I'm usually suspicious of fungus.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there seem to be like a cellar here, or like some kind of like storage area or anything?
You can see a room through the like behind the robot. There's like a storage room back there.
I think I go take a look, just if the robot doesn't try and stop me. But they seem particularly, they're cleaning, so.
Yeah, it's just trapped in it or like locked into its loop. Yeah, you pop into the back room. It's a mess. There's an open door that leads out into the wilderness. Stuff's blown in from outside. More fungus is growing in here. There's shattered old and rotting barrels. So you do notice that there's drag marks near some of the barrels, as if there was something there previously and then it had been dragged out.
Mm. How
I'd
familiar? Oh, sorry.
wave and point folks to that.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
familiar would people like us be with robots of that kind?
So they're not unheard of, but they're not especially common either. They're remnants of old lost civilizations. No one knows really how they work. Most of
Okay.
them don't work anymore. Like most of them are like this. Some of them are dangerous because they're whatever it is that's inside them is breaking down. But yeah, they're not totally unheard of, but they're still kind of a mystery.
Okay, so I would just give the robot a little slap, like when you slap a broken radio to
Mm-hmm.
try and make it work, and and already knowing that it won't work, and
Mm-hmm.
already giving up and going after. What's your character's name again, John?
Oh, Genevia.
Genevia. Yeah, after her. But trying anyways.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of slap the robot as if to kind of work damn you. It knocks some of the rust loose and some of the fungus falls off. It doesn't really like it kind of stops for a moment and you can hear like whirring or like crunching inside. But it soon goes back to wiping down the bar.
Do the
All
drag
right.
marks lead like further away from the building, or just like
They
out of the room?
yeah, it looks like something was dragged from the back room into the front of the bar, or the front of the saloon, and then kind of out into the village or into the
I'll say to Mira, say, leave that bucket of bolts alone. It's obviously broken. So what have you found? Is it Genevia?
Yeah. Something got dragged.
Are there's few like barrels and sacks that look like they may have something inside them?
Um,
Does it
the,
look like it was picked clean?
it has been picked clean.
Mm.
Some of them look like some of the remnants. Looks like it might have been like old potatoes and stuff like that, or some flour. Potentially some long lasting like rations or long lasting foodstuffs. But yeah, it has been like there's nothing left here now. It looks like the back room's been properly picked over.
We follow these tracks. It's as good a lead as any.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so it leads out into the town square, and you can see that they kind of so as it was dragging like muck and dirt from the saloon, and that's all wiped off, so you can see the general direction that it was going, but you kind of lose the trail after a while. But it's pointing towards the center of the town, and then in the general direction of the swamp at the edge of town.
And is that the same direction as that building that was up on stilts?
So, who would have exited the saloon first?
I think I was on the trail.
Yeah, thinking that.
Okay. Right. Genevia, can you make a dex save, please?
Dex save. All right.
So
that's a fail.
That's a fail. Okay.
It's 11 on an 8.
Okay. Something jumps you from behind or from the side, and attacks you. There we go. What's your armor or your defense?
3.
3. Okay. Take 3 points of damage as a scruffy-looking thug hits you with a cudgel.
Oof. Try to get my saber up in time, but it gets stuck up in the scabbard.
So, Bernard and Mira, you, as Genevia was kind of ahead of you, you saw someone come out of the shadows and hit her with a cudgel, a club. It's, someone looks lanky. He's lanky with road-worn clothing, and you can see they're pretty scruffy, and they've got like a mean, nasty look on their face.
Since I have 2 guns,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna point one of them at the person, and I'm gonna shoot the other at the sky and
Okay.
shout like, "We're gunslingers! Stop what you're doing right now, or else."
So it seems to have the opposite effect that you were expecting.
Oh, okay.
Person's eyes go wide. It's them! It's them! It's the gunslingers! Get him! Get him!
Oops.
And they're going to raise their cudgel again and try and hit you again. Geneva.
Since I had the other pistol trained at him
Mm-hmm.
as a threat, I'm just gonna shoot him.
Cool. Right, if you want to roll 2d6 on the shoot table.
Yes. Just a second. I have an 8. Where's the shoot table?
It's under combat, and then gunslinging.
Okay.
So 8 is a graze, so it means you do hit, but it does diminished damage instead of the full damage. So it's D4 instead of D8.
Yeah, I got a 3.
3.
Ooh, nice.
All right, so it knocks the attacker back, and you can see across the road there's someone else coming out of the shadow, similarly dressed with a cudgel, screaming, "I'll get you! I'll get you for what you did! I'll get you, gunslingers!"
Wait, what have we done?
Well, you shot their friend. All they were doing is trying to attack you. Bernard, so you see one attacker who Mira's shot, and another one coming from across the road. What would you like to do?
I don't know whether I'm going to waste any ammo on these guys. They seem pretty, I say worthless, but you know, I'll get the bullwhip out and sort of try and whip this guy to sort of, get him off.
So you, from where you are, the reach you have, you'd be able to hit either target. So you can either attack the one that's just been shot, or the one coming across the...
I think I'd go for the one coming across the road. If the one that's been shot looks like he's being dealt with.
Cool. So it's D4 for damage.
Do melee attacks just sort of hit then, or?
That's right, yeah. You don't have to roll to hit.
Oh wow, 4.
4. Awesome. So this one's stout and in tattered clothing, holding not a cudgel, holding a spear. takes the hit in the chest and kind of stumbles back, like knocked off a little bit. Right. So the one with the cudgel is gonna try and hit you again, Genevia. And so your defense is 3.
Yeah.
So you take 1 point.
Okay, well, that means that I'm going to roll on the scars table.
Okay, cool. So you're exactly at 0.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a D12.
So yeah, it is a D12.
All right, I am rattled, disoriented, and shaken. I'm going to fumble my next reload, and I roll 1d6. And if it's higher than my max grit, I take the new result. So yeah, my max grit's going to go up to 5.
Nice.
All right.
All right. So so remember your next reload, you'll fumble. All right, cool. So now so you all can act together, like there's no real initiative. So if I'll start with Genevia, since you were just hit.
Yeah, I think the saber's out at this point, and Genevia's just gonna straightforwardly try and slice this guy with that. So
Cool.
That's just a D8, right?
Yeah. So is there anyone else who's going to be attacking this this target?
Yeah, I think you said my dagger was throwable, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think I'm gonna try and throw my dagger and try to attack the guy that's closer to me, attacking Genevia.
Cool. And Bernard, are you gonna be attacking this one or the other one? Just so I can know that, like, who's like kind of multiple damage.
So what's the mechanical benefit of everyone attacking the same person?
You all roll your damage, and then it's the highest result out of all the rolls.
I'll probably still attack the one with the spear.
Okay. Cool.
I'll probably pull my scattergun out at this point and say something, along the lines of, you just said gunslingers. Listen to the first sort of syllable of that word and drop the spear, friend. And try and sort of intimidate him.
Okay, cool. So we'll do the first the 2 attacks on one. What was your damage, John?
7.
7. And I think that'll be higher than the dagger. But what was
the dagger is the D6. I don't even have to roll.
Yeah, cool. So 7 damage. That takes the target below 0 grit. So somehow, after being stabbed with the saber and with a dagger in his chest, he's still coming. It looks like he's not going to be doing anything much longer, but he is still coming at this very moment.
Seems like you know where the whiskey is, friend.
Right, and Bernard, you were essentially telling the attacker to drop the spear.
Yeah.
He seems to think about it for a moment, and then decides not to listen. So he's still coming. So if you want, you can.
Can I fire on him now?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to roll 2d6 on the shoot table.
1 and a 1.
1 and a 1. Okay, well that's max damage. Yeah.
Man.
So that's D8 damage. So that's 8 damage because it's so that's the best result you can get on the shoot table. Again is underneath into the negatives. This one, so you level your scattergun at him, pull the trigger as he's approaching with the spear, and it just blows him back. He hits one of the buildings. It's like a strut in one of the buildings, and like cracks his neck against it, and then slumps to the ground dead. Seeing his friend be violently killed does not deter the remaining thug. For some reason, he's hell bent on doing some damage to you guys, y'all. So he's gonna try and attack. Sorry, not Mira. Genevia again.
Okay, so that takes me below 0.
Right.
So that is to strength, right?
Yeah. So so 2-0, the additional damage would go against your strength directly.
Right. And then do I have to roll a save?
Yeah, you need
a
to
strength
make a
save?
strength save, yeah.
Okay. That doesn't save. It's 14 on 6.
Okay. So you fail the critical damage save. You kind of where the thug hits you, you feel immense pain, and you crumple to the ground. You're still alive, but you can't do anything other than kind of crawl on the ground for the moment.
And she's crawling.
Okay.
I just... Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the motherfucker.
Yeah. Right.
Just almost killed my friend, so...
Are you?
And I have a thing about seeing my friends be killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So...
Are you firing both 6-shooters or just the one?
Yes, but... I'm actually curious about what they said,
Mm-hmm.
that they wanted to kill us for what we did, so I'm gonna try and not kill him,
Okay.
even if I cause him immense pain and even if he dies like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
But I don't want to kill him immediately, so no headshot or chest shots, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're a gunslinger, so you'll know exactly where you can shoot him.
Okay.
And have him not die immediately, essentially. So for to get some information. So yeah, absolutely. I will say that the state he's in, you'll get a bonus on this shot. So you'll have a -2. So lower is better for redealing lead. So you'll get a -2 on your shoot roll. So if you want to roll 2d6 and then -2.
All right. Do I have to roll twice since I'm rolling with twin 6-shooters?
So it would be damage advantage. So you'd only have to roll once.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point though.
I rolled a 5 and then -2, it's 3. So let me go back to the table.
It's max damage.
Ooh.
Excellent.
And I had sound effects. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, so you fire both 6-shooters.
Sorry, it's a holiday here. It's firecrackers.
It's perfect.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, you fire twice, or like just hit the thug in the stomach. You know he's not going to live very very long after this, but he is going to live for questioning. And the impact just drops him to the ground immediately, holding his stomach, just like screaming in pain. Goddamn gunslingers!
I'm gonna tend to Genevia first. So I'm gonna run towards her while yelling like, "Boss, do you wanna do the honors to Bernard?"
Yeah, I think seeing as Mira's helping Genevia, I'll go to this sort of bandit that's bleeding out. Start to lean on his sort of stomach wound with my knee as I crouch down towards him, just sort of put the pressure on.
Yeah.
I sort of ask him, what gives,
Y'all are gunslingers, ain't you?
Yeah, I'll sort of angle my gun at him and go, yeah, I think we've made that abundantly clear.
Yeah, well, we've been paid to kill any gunslinger that showed up here.
I'll lean even more on the wound and go, and how's that working out for you?
Well, not very good, to be honest.
Well, if you want a chance of getting out of this, why don't you tell me who paid you and where we can find them?
Well, it's Lancaster what paid me. She said, go to that town, kill any gunslingers would show up.
And where is Lancaster?
She's where she always is, back in Tull. It's about 2-3 days ride from here.
Okay. Very good. Well, I'm a man of my word. You can see how far you can crawl to see how long you last. And I'll ease up and go see how Genevieve is.
He kind of starts weakly crawling away, like in the direction where you all originally came from. So kind of leaving the village, just slowly.
Wait,
slowly crawling.
what? No. I'll throw my dagger at him and let him die already.
Yep. Yeah, you hit him in the back of the head with the dagger.
Yeah.
And he just collapses.
Fair enough. I never said it. I know. I said I wouldn't kill him.
Fair enough.
I appreciate the attention, but I'm winded is all. So just I'll go see if that robot's got any whiskey. Just I'm gonna crawl back into the saloon.
So so now that the fight's over, you can have a breath and you can get your grit back. Your strength damage will stay though, until you can have a long rest or like a significant rest. All right, and yeah, everyone else, if you've taken damage, you can that'll get recovered with a rest and a drink of water. All right. So, did you want to go in and see the robot?
I think that was just where I'm going to rest up for a second.
All right. Cool.
I don't think there's much conversation to be had.
Yeah. when it sees you at the door, it says, "Howdy. What can I get you?"
I'm good. I'm good.
Goes back to wiping out the bar.
It's an action sort of to reload, isn't it?
Yeah.
How would it work to say? So Bernard probably wouldn't leave his gun half loaded. So sort of in between combat, he'd put a new shell in the shotgun. But obviously, that's not a full reload because I only shot once. Is there a way you'd sort of recommend tracking that, or how would that work with lead, or is that
it's
gamifying it too?
Yeah, it's a bit different when it comes to the shotgun, like the scattergun, because it is only 2 shots. Yeah, normally I'd say wait till you expend everything before reloading.
Yeah.
Just to make the accounting of it a bit easier.
Yeah.
But if you wanna track it in a different way, like because there are only 2 shots in the scattergun, it's not as you don't have to keep track of 6 or 8 shots, so it's not quite as bad if you want to track it manually, or use like half lead essentially.
Yeah, I suppose it's easier to remember. Yeah, in total I had 12 shells to start with. It's a lot easier to remember.
Yeah,
I can detract one of them, but sort of keep my counter to then say I'm fully loaded.
Yeah,
Go down to 11.
It's like whatever is easiest to have the least amount of number crunching.
Yeah.
But if that's how you want to keep track, like if you want to do the full number crunching, then cool, fair enough.
Okay, cool.
Right. So so you were ambushed by the thugs. As a reminder, the Lancaster, the name that he mentioned, was the local crime boss in the area. So they were sent here to kill any gunslingers who arrived.
I'll relay the information that I can still totally remember to the other guys, or to the other gunslingers. What did they say? Which direction, or where did they say Lancaster was?
So Lancaster was in Lancaster from previous run-ins. Lancaster's kind of the crime boss of the area, but she's in her headquarters are in another town, so it looks like she's sent people here to this specific town for some reason to keep an eye out for gunslingers coming.
That was Tull, wasn't it? That they were.
Yeah.
Were in. Yeah.
What's the name of the person we're tracking again?
Severn.
Severn, yeah.
And you know that also that Severn's had some run-ins before with Lancaster, so they're not kind of allies.
Okay.
What do we know about why Severn killed Roland? We know that Severn killed Roland and took off. Do we know anything about why?
It was Isaac. That was the
Or Isaac, sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know what
easy mistake. Roland's the gunslinger character from the Dark.
Yeah,
World.
yeah.
I
just heard the name and got him mad. Okay.
No. All you know is that Severn was obsessed with finding the person who killed his father, and that's kind of what he was most active doing recently. So you're not sure, don't know the specifics of what exactly happened between him and Isaac.
Okay. Maybe Severn stirred some trouble up in Tull, and now Lancaster is wary of gunslingers, and anyways, we should be cautious when we approach there.
So the other lead that you found so far is the drag marks from the barrels, or from something that got dragged out of the saloon into the direction of the swamp.
This might be a strange question, but how common is it for gunslingers to randomly get jumped in towns? Like, do people tend to have grudges with them? Like, especially a crime boss, if we're the sort of order or some form of justice in the, in the drifted world.
So gunslingers are pretty rare in general, and normally, if anyone were to jump you, it would be for the guns, because those are extremely valuable. But because, like, if someone knows you're a gunslinger, they're not gonna, like, most of the time, they're not gonna try and mess with you unless they've been specifically asked or ordered to. Just because, it's death normally from messing with a gunslinger.
And in terms of our sort of past relationship with Lancaster, would they know personally us, or is it just they're a crime boss that probably got some beef with gunslingers anyway? If you know. Yeah.
So you haven't had any personal run-ins with her, but she'll have known that there are gunslingers in the area.
Yeah.
But there's no reason why you'd think that she'd be looking out for you here specifically for some reason.
Okay.
Well, so shall we take a look at the swamp house?
I think we should do it. I think I'm not going to take the lead on this one. A little. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll keep a look on our back end.
Cool.
Yeah, we can swap.
They'll probably come up from behind us anyway.
So you want to take a look at the swamp and the shack?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So the swamp, waist-high fetid water stained black by the taint of the oil. Surface mostly still, save for a herd of grotesque beasts that send ripples as they drink from the black water. A shack sits at the center, raised on stilts. So the shack is about 8 feet off the surface of the swamp, and the herd of beasts look to be mutated cows.
So they look like they care about us?
No, they're just kind of minding their own business, like drinking from the swamp.
Right.
They're pretty common around this area, like this type of cattle, mostly like either corrupted or mutated by the pollution in the water. So these ones have twisted limbs and pulsating tumors that weep through patchwork hide. So you can get meat from these cattle, but normally you wouldn't want to, because there's very, very little viable meat.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. Yeah, probably avoid having a burger or a steak.
Yeah.
Is there signs of life in the shack? Did you say? Or is it?
Yeah, so the shack itself, you can see it looks recently repaired. Like underneath, there's a lot of rotting boards and damp because it's sitting in the middle of a swamp. But there have been some recent repairs and recent reinforcement. So there's fresh boards and shutters that have been nailed onto the windows. So it's all kind of sealed up.
Does there seem to be any way to see out of it?
Yeah, so there's the front door. There's a sliding window that can pop open from the inside, and it looks like there's some gaps, like small gaps in the windows, like the boarded windows that people can still peer out.
We can.
Does it have a back door?
Yeah, you can. Do you want to? Are you gonna move around the shack? So it's like at the center of a swamp, but you can move around if you wanted to have a look at the back of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you all going as a group, or is it just Mira who's gonna scout it out?
I was thinking maybe Mira, or at least I think Bernard would sort of stay near the front. I mean, I might potentially knock on the door and just see who's in. No point kicking the door in. They might be friendly. I think, yeah, maybe I do that while Mira's sort of
That's a good
scouting
idea.
around the back.
So so it's about 8 foot off the ground, and looks like there's a platform that can lower and raise to get you access to the front door. It's raised at the moment. There's some pulleys and winches that.
Okay, is there any way to lower it from our level, or is it all can sort of?
It looks like it looks like all of the mechanism has been like pulled up. It doesn't mean it can't. You can't kind of find a way to lower it, but just looking at it, it's meant to stay up rather than. They've rigged it so that you can only lower it from the top. And Wendi said you wanted to check around the back.
Yeah.
So as you're maneuvering around, kind of getting near the cattle, across the way, where more cattle are drinking and sending ripples through the swamp, you can see a squat, heavily armored, spiked creature somewhere between a lobster and a crab. Emerges from the black swamp and slashes a cow's throat with an enormous elongated claws, killing it. The creature drags the cow back under the water and out of sight.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's not gonna be looking for food in the next minute, so I'm just gonna hurry up here.
Okay.
Try to find a way in.
Are you going in the swamp, or are you going kind of as out of it, as far out of it as you can go? Are you gonna walk through the swamp to get to around the back?
I want to keep as clear as possible of the swamp water where the weird creatures might be.
Okay. Yeah, so you kind of skirt around the edge of the swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to go very far, and you can see that the back, there's no back entrance. Looks like there are windows from looking at the structure of the shack. You can tell that it looks like there are two rooms. The room at the back is even more boarded up than the room at the front.
Do I see any possible way to climb up from the back?
There are some, there are the stilts. They're covered in grime and swamp water. It's possible to climb up, climb up the stilts. It would take a bit of time, and it might, you're not sure how sturdy it is to how much movement or vibration it would cause climbing up. Bernard, were you? You were. Were you looking for a way up onto the platform?
I mean, I think potentially I could just shout up there to get the attention of sort of anyone in there, and then at least they're looking at me in the front rather than Era sneaking around.
Yeah, and I think I would try and get under the building if you were gonna shout. So I think that's where I'd try and be.
Yeah.
So
Then they don't really know how many of us there are. They think it's just me and.
Yeah.
Okay. So Geneva, you're going to go under the shack. That's where the Swampwater is deepest. And so how are you maneuvering? Like it's not deep enough that you'd have to worry about swimming or anything, but it is darker there than in the rest of the swamp.
Yeah, I think. I think I'd be. If there doesn't seem to be a way to get there where there like wouldn't be some clear line of sight, then maybe I wouldn't try it. But like, okay. If I thought that I could do it in a way that I wasn't going to be noticed, that's what I would try and do. Okay. So are you gonna like, how are you approaching the center? Like, how are you walking through the swamp? Essentially, is it? I'm going to try and use the cows as like kind of move with the cows, kind of like like see if I can sort of move or the cattle. Okay. I'm mostly covered in leather, so I figure I'd fit right in. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so you slowly make your way underneath the shack. Right, Mira, where do you want to position yourself if Bernard's going to kind of shout the people inside? Where do you want to be?
I think I want to be near the stilts, so I can try and climb as fast as possible if there's any window, like if there's any opportunity for me to do so without getting caught. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so Bernard's gonna attempt to get the attention. Genevia's underneath the shack, waiting for people to come out potentially, or kind of waiting there just in case. And Mira is at the back, and you're gonna climb up the stilts if you get the opportunity to. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, Bernard, over to you. How do you want to get their attention?
I'll just shout a general sort of greeting, hello there, and say, ran into a bit of trouble in town. This appears to be the only place, your home appears to be the only place that seems to have someone living in it that we can see. I wonder if you could let us up. Just, or I'll say, I'll try to rephrase that. I'll try and make it vague about how many, whether I'm on my own or not, my wording. Yeah. Just, it seems like a potentially safer place than down here. And see if that gets a reaction out of anyone.
Hey, Oswald, did you hear that? Someone's outside. He's talking all fancy like. So that's one voice, and then another voice responds, "Yeah, I'll go feed him to the lobsters." And you hear the bars start to move aside at the door, and see the door open up. Filling the doorway is a brawny humanoid with the head of a vulture. So you've seen this type of creature before. Not quite human. Can have different animal heads. So this one has the head of a vulture. It's scarred and has black eyes. It's wearing old-fashioned clothing and holding a saber. He looks down at you in the swamp, and his eyes go wide. He shouts, and he's like, he's holding the saber up. "Susanna, it's them. It's the gunslingers. Get them. They're here." So he ducks back inside. Did you have did you have your guns out or anything? Or your scattergun?
Probably not. No, it's probably holstered.
Okay.
Not necessarily out to try and cause a fight. In addition to to the fight we've already had.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's ducked back inside, and you can hear mad scrambling and cursing from inside. Mira, you can now's your
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and use my dagger also to get traction,
Cool.
so I can climb
Mm-hmm.
more silently at least.
Yep.
If not faster at least without
Yeah, absolutely.
much sound.
You'll be able to climb, kind of using your dagger to pull you up, and to give you traction. Yeah, you'll be able to kind of it won't be instantly, but you'll be able to make your way up there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, and Genevia, what would you like to do?
So I think I'd like to come up from like under that platform,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna see if I can. So I've got some grease, and I'm gonna try and grease the platform. So what I'd like to do is I assume I've got my grease in a kind of a can,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like half slop and half, so it's kind of liquidy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just try and I don't know. I think try and like kind of toss some up there.
Yep.
See if I can't grease the platform. That's what I'd like to do.
Cool. Yeah, there's enough gap between the planks of the platform, then you can kind of just splash it up, and it would coat it kind of from
Yeah.
the bottom up.
Yep.
Awesome.
Just making sure the machinery works.
Yeah. Okay. So right. So Mira is climbing up. Bernard, what would you like to do now, Bernard? From the demeanor, you expect that they're gonna come out soon, to get you. So what would you like to do?
Trying to think what Ban would do.
Can
definitely
Bernard
draw.
see what the two of us are doing, by the way?
Yeah, he's you'll have visibility of definitely of Genevia, and yeah, now that Amira is making her way up, you'll be able to see both of them too.
Oh, great.
Is there any cover out here? I suppose the cows would
Yeah,
count as cover.
potentially the cows. They're milling around. They're not getting too deep into the water, because they're still kind of they've learned that, yeah, you see that they don't go too deeply into the water and cause too many ripples.
I think I'll stay out front because then when they come out, they see me rather than Mira or realise Mira's climbing up.
Yeah.
And I'll say, no need for violence. That didn't go well for the last folks that tried it. Come out unarmed and we can just talk. And obviously, I've drawn my scattergun at this point, and maybe I'll just be looking around for any cover or whatever in case they've got some sort of ranged weapon
Mm-hmm.
I can be stuck behind if needs be.
Okay. Yeah. You see the door open back up, and a woman sticks her
Wait,
head out.
sorry.
Sorry.
Would I have the time to already have reached the door by now?
Yeah. So you're up on the platform now. So do you want to go around?
I would have wanted to go around and position myself right outside the door, so when the first one gets out,
Mhm.
they get a dagger on the throat.
Okay. Cool. So you're kind of sat like right next to the door. It opens.
Yeah, so Bernard's actually baiting them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Cool. Gotcha. So the door will open inward. So yeah, you see that. So you're positioned to the side of the door. Bernard is distracting them. You see the door open inward, and a woman sticks her head out, and she's holding up her hand. She kind of sticks one hand out. Yep. All right. No need for violence. I'm a coming out.
I'm gonna grab her, put my dagger on her throat, and say, "Yeah, there's no need for violence, or else she's gonna eat some bullets." How do I make this thing work? And I pointed the platform machine.
She's kind of like, you. There's that lever there. You just pull the lever. She points down. You can see that she was holding a machete behind her back, with the hand that wasn't stuck out.
Okay, I'm gonna or I forgot the word. I'm gonna snap her arm, like
Okay.
not try to break it, but like putting it,
Twist it, sort of thing.
twist
Yeah.
her arm, yeah.
Okay. To make her
Just
drop.
so she lets it go, yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
She drops it,
Yeah. No
and when she drops it, I kick it out of the water,
Cool. Yep.
and I'm gonna pull the lever and wait for my friends to arrive.
She as you're doing this, she's kind of struggling, and she yells, "Oswald, they got me! Come and get him! Come and get him!"
Yeah, we got her, Oswald.
Yeah. So he shows up. He appears at the door. Let's see. With so he's got a saber. And he's like, "You let her go, gunslinger."
Why?
Did you say Did you use the lever to sort of lower the
I did.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Are you gonna join her up there?
Yeah, I think Bernard will at least.
So you saw Genevia put the grease on the platform, so you know to kind of avoid it, so you don't accidentally slip on it yourself.
I'm gonna try and move out of the deeper water, but I'm gonna try and do it slow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, so we got Mira with a dagger to the throat of the woman. The big vulture man holding a saber at the door. Bernard is coming up the platform, and Genevia is maneuvering around. Did you still want to stay out of sight?
I think so. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
So, Birdman, why the fuck are you all trying to kill us? I'm trying to keep talking with them while Bernard gets up here.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them talking and actually trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Y'all are Severn's crew, ain't you? Severn's old crew.
What if we are?
Yeah, we knew you'd come here. That's why we told Lancaster. She's gonna be really happy that she gets 3 gunslingers for the price of 1.
Why is that? Why is she after us?
Well, she pays good money for gunslingers. If we can deliver you to her, then she'll pay us a pretty lead.
Did you get? I forgot the name again. Our old
Severn.
Severn. Yeah. Did you get him?
Yeah, we got him. He's in the back room.
Oh, great! I slash the woman's throat and throw her body at him. And I imagine right now Bernard is right
Dramatically,
yeah,
platform
arriving.
not gonna hit sort of level.
So seeing his friend get killed and tossed into the swamp, the vulture.
No, I toss her body at him.
Yeah. He yells and gets pushed back, just surprised by the ferocity of the attack. So he's knocked off balance. What's the next? What do you want to do next?
At this point, could Bernard say, "Here's some gunslinger lead you're after," or "Here's some lead you're after," and shoot him with both barrels?
Yep. I'll say that given that he's knocked off balance, and that you're basically point blank range, that you won't need to roll. That's just roll your damage.
Yay!
So is it
D8.
2d8s or with both barrels? Or just the one?
Both barrel. Yes. 2d8. Yeah, with both barrels.
6 and a 2.
I'm gonna say that triggers a critical damage save immediately for him. He somehow takes the brunt of both barrels to the chest. He's not instantly killed, but he's kind of near death, and you see the fight is pretty much out of him. So he's just like slumped down. He's not dead, but he's out of the fight.
Phew. Okay.
I'll sort of shout into the, or I'll ask this guy, I suppose. No, I'll shout into the room. If there's anyone else in there, now's definitely the time to come out with no weapons. You've seen what happens when people try to cross us.
You hear a weak, familiar voice coming from deeper inside the shack. Gunslingers. To me, you recognize Severn's.
At last.
I'll loudly sort of say loud enough for Genevieve to hear. That sounds like a voice of our old friend Severn's.
Oh, is he at the back room?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm saying out loud,
Okay,
so
yeah.
Genevieve can hear
Cool.
you too.
Yeah. I guess I'll try and find my way up there.
I suppose we just lower the platform again for you and
Yeah.
bring you up.
So as you all are standing, like you can see inside the shack now, that the door's open. It's not a really large shack, so you can see in, and you see that you see the remnants of broken down furniture scattered around a dark and dingy room, filled with a pungent smell of farts and filth, cheap liquor and blood. 4 stained bedrolls lay on the floor around a soot-covered stove. Opposite the entrance, there's a closed door that's been barricaded with boards and stacked broken furniture. So it looks like the door is blocked to keep someone inside the room rather than keeping people out of it.
Just to be safe, I'm gonna hit the vulture guy on the head, on the back of the head with the handle of the gun.
Yeah.
Just so
that knocks him out. So he's totally out of it.
Severn, you're not going to be any trouble now, are you?
Well, you know me, Geneva. I'm never much trouble, am I?
Yeah, I'd start piling off some of the reinforcements on this door.
Okay. It doesn't take very long. Like, it was kind of... there's boards that have been nailed against the door to keep it from opening, but you can pull those off pretty easily and get access. Do you open the door to the back room?
If it looks like I'm covered, I'd do it, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I'd have reloaded the scat gun by this point. And,
Okay.
my guns are out.
Cool.
All right, I'm opening the door then.
Okay. So the back room, it's dark and dingy, with the acrid smell of rot heavy in the air. A rusted bed frame sits at the center of the room, and all windows are boarded up. There is a slumped figure that sits on the bed, clothes stained with blood. It's Severn. He's deathly pale, and he's got drawn skin. He's got his hand on a revolver in his holster, but it looks like that's just instinct, not aggression. He looks up at you. Took your damn time getting here.
I think I will play this.
Yeah, you're the leader.
I say, well, maybe you shouldn't have run then, Severn.
I had no choice. Isaac didn't leave me any choice.
Well, what happened there? One day, it seemed we were all the best of friends, and next thing you know, Isaac's in the dirt, and you're gone gone with the wind.
Well, short story is I found him. I found Francis, the man what killed my dad. 20 years it took me. Tracked him down. Told Isaac that I had a lead on him. I knew exactly where to get him. Isaac wouldn't let me go. Wouldn't let me go after him. Said the order had to come first. I knew that I couldn't let that stand. So I did what I had to do. Not happy about it, but I am happy that I killed that sumbitch who killed my dad. Took a bullet for it, though. He leans back, and you can see he's been gut shot. Looks pretty bad too. He doesn't have much longer.
I'll say, well, seems like Isaac took a bullet for it as well.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was. See that man dead? I'd kill 100 men to see that happen.
I say, well, at least we know where we stand. I say, what's this about Lancaster? Anything to do with you?
Yeah, she... Mutt and Jeff in there, they turned me in, sold me out to her, told her where I was, locked me in this room. She's meant to be on her way, but I know I won't see her. I hoped you all would get here before I left the clearing. You know what I want.
What is it he wants?
I want to go out like a gunslinger. I want to go out with a gun in my hand.
I say, well, we've been through a lot, and I think even Isaac would have let you know, even though you're the one that killed him, he'd understand. Is his intention to sort of stand with us and fight Lancaster, just so I know, or does he? Yeah.
He's essentially looking for a duel to the death.
Okay, yeah, I will duel him as the sort of makes sense as the sort of errant, the new errant. To
Cool.
He doesn't deserve it, Bernard.
Yeah, it's
He's a traitor.
It's entirely optional, so you can duel him. You can kind of honor his request, or you can not. So it's 100% up to you guys, up to you all.
I think Bernard would duel him. I think, in my head they've been through some shit together, and yeah, he might be a traitor, but he's still a gunslinger.
I think Genevia hasn't seen one of these. She's interested.
Cool. So how gunslinger duels work, it's a contested roll. So the gunslinger and the opponent both make a heart save. And if you make the save, then you get the shot. There's different things that can happen depending on who makes the save and how badly. So Bernard, is it you who'll duel the Severn?
Yeah, I think that makes most sense.
Cool. So he musters all of his strength to stand up. Where do you? He asks you. Where do you want to do it?
I'm guessing in the village, a main street. I think there's obviously it's a duel. It's got to be in the sort of main street of the town.
Cool. Yeah. So he's slow moving, but with your help, you can kind of move him into the village and get in position. The closer you get to the village, the more you see him kind of become what he used to be. Like he had been the shell of his former self, but knowing that the duel is coming, it kind of gives him renewed strength and renewed grit.
Was there any sort of whiskey or spirits or anything or liquor in the shack?
Yeah, there's some really. It looks like they must have grabbed it from the saloon, but there is some really terrible whiskey in there.
I'll sort of take a swig and then offer him the bottle as well.
Yeah, he swigs it as well. So you get in position. He's got his hand on his revolver. So this isn't the artifact gun that he had when he was a gunslinger. It's a cheap knockoff or a cheap version of a gun.
Did you say he handed his guns in to us?
Yeah.
Could I sort of say to him, if you're going to go out a gunslinger, you're going out with your guns, and sort of hand him his artifact gun? I'm probably going to get killed because of this.
So yeah, he you see like the thanks in his eyes, because you know that this was his father's gun that you're giving back to him. So it's bringing everything full circle for him. So he nods, and both assume the position at opposite.
Mira, from a distance, she's keeping her distance, shouts again, "You don't deserve this," and takes a swig of cheap whiskey.
Yeah. I know, Mira, I know. Deserve ain't got nothing to do with it. Right, so you're in position. You can see, you see the steel come into his eyes as he readies himself for the duel. You see him stand up straight, and it's almost like he doesn't feel the wound at all. All right, any words or any words before the duel?
No, I don't think anything more needs to be said. I think we've done it all and said it all.
Yeah,
Let's get down to business.
The duel will speak for itself.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, if you want to make your heart save, so you need to roll under your heart ability score.
14, and my heart is 16, so that's rolled under.
Okay. So Severn didn't make. He failed his heart save because he's a broken gunslinger, faster than him at the draw. So how does it happen? How do you shoot?
So I pictured the holster for the scattergun. It's like in Mad Max, it's more like a sawn-off than a full long barrel shotgun, and it's the sort of traditional pull out the holster and just shoot quicker and more accurately before he has chance. Really,
cool.
I'm not going to give him with both barrels in a duel. That seems overkill for this guy.
All right. If you want to roll your damage, so because it's a duel, it does damage directly to strength, not to grit. So it's D8 damage.
Okay, so that's 6 damage.
6 damage. So he takes that directly to his strength. So you see the scattergun, the buckshot hit him in the stomach, and he just falls back. He winces, collapses, falls back down, dead. His father's gun still in his hand. You were too quick for him. He managed to get it out of the holster, but not quick enough. Congratulations, you've beaten Severn, completed the duel, and you have completed the playtest adventure by defeating Severn.
Very good. Yeah, I was really nervous for that duel. It is I think just because it bypasses everything, it's it's down to the rolls almost, and
awesome. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
It does really have the Dark Tower feeling that you were going for. And as a huge fan of the Dark Tower, that made me very happy. I felt like Susanna.
Yeah, totally.
Badass bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. I got the same sort of thing, especially like with Bernard being highborn and stuff, because it's obviously the gunslingers, the cowboy aesthetic of it is big in the Dark Tower, but there's also sort of the chivalry, the knights part of it as well. The cowboys, but they're also knights as well. And Arthur Eld is King Arthur, and it was good, at least like I say with Bernard, sort of have that side of it included as well.
Yeah, it gives a different flavor.
Yeah.
I think it's like is fun to sort of like the way that like Into the Odd is like sacrilege for not having to hit rolls.
Yeah.
And then you're like taking Into the Odd and then putting to hit rolls.
Exactly, yeah.
But like it's still working. It's like it's actually really like if it's just this one kind of thing that you roll that that was fun. Of course, we rolled well on that. I think maybe I'd be mad if we had rolled bad, but it was that was good. I never shot the gun, but everyone else did. Everyone else did well with it.
When I read that, I thought it was weird because I'm used to Into the Odd, but rolling felt that it made sense. Like it did feel great. It didn't feel like it was just there.
Yeah.
It made sense.
It doesn't feel tacked on. It feels as it's part of the system rather than
because it avoids the defense. It's like it's a tactical thing. Like I can do this, and it adds a layer of strategy to it. That's fun.
I didn't want the reason I picked a 2d6 was I didn't want the gunslingers missing too often, just because they shouldn't. Like it should be a rare occurrence. Just like the misfire too. I didn't, because it's no fun if you're shooting, you're this badass gunslinger and you're missing half the shots.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, thanks. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thanks for participating, and thanks for helping me out.
All right. Have a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
You too.
All right, cheers.
See you.
Bye.
Later.